Go.
My name is Krista Cassidy, and my topic is how medical waste impacts the environment drastically. According to the World Health Organization, high-income countries of the United States creates about 0.5 kilograms of hazardous waste material per hospital in one day. And in the lower income countries, they produce about 0.2 kilograms of waste a day. Nicole Pavlik reports that hospitals dispose about 2 million tons of biomedical and regular waste per year. Hazardous materials include infectious waste such as bodily fluids, cultures, pathological waste like human tissues, sharps, chemical waste, medications, and radioactive materials. If these materials are disposed of before they are properly treated, they can contaminate our water and cause a release of chemicals into the air. Normal hospitals outsource incinerator companies to dispose of the medical waste. If the incinerators are not being used correctly, or they are putting materials into the incinerator that should not be burned, then the result is the release of pollutants into the atmosphere. The U.S. healthcare system has a drastic effect on climate change due to the amount of energy used to run hospitals continuously, the amount of waste they discard daily, and there is little to no change being done in trying to reduce the amount of carbon emissions being released in the hospitals. Climate change has a drastic effect on the human body. The World Health Organization has warned about the effects that climate change causes, such as lung disease, food shortages, increases in malnutrition, and increases in vector-borne illnesses. The organization predicts that between the years 2030 and 2050, about 250,000 people will die from the climate change effects. Medical problems caused by climate change is due to poor air quality and extreme heat. A large hospital in a large city can generate up to 30 tons of waste a day. The article, Impact of Biomedical Waste on Environment and Human Health, reports that hospitals often mix their biomedical waste with municipal trash from people's homes and do not follow the rules that were set in place in the year 1998. There is a lot of unawareness of policies on how to properly dispose of hospital waste. If hospital waste disposal continues to be so poorly managed, then there will be more pollution, disturbing smells, and multiplying insects, rodents, and worms, which can increase the spread of diseases. According to the article, Environmental Health Impacts of U.S. Healthcare, carbon dioxide emissions has increased over 30% in the past decade alone by healthcare. This is about 655 million tons of CO2 being put into the atmosphere. They are saying the largest amount of CO2 is being released by hospital care, which has been increased by 36%. Physician and clinical services is about 12%, and prescription drugs is about 10%. Keeping the hospital running with electricity, fuel, and heat only takes up about 2.5% of energy. The article, Impact of Biomedical Waste on Environment and Human Health, reports that about 10% of greenhouse emissions is caused by healthcare. About 9% of healthcare emissions is causing air pollution, and 1 to 2% is causing a release of carcinogenic and non-carcinogenic gases into the air. There is little data to show how medical devices, supplies, and procedures affect climate change, but the byproduct of saving humans has caused damage to the environment. Until 2005, incinerators were the only way for hospitals to properly dispose of healthcare waste. These materials were needles, blood, body parts, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, medical tools, and radioactive substances, as shown in the screen up here. These increased regulations over toxic emissions, small incinerators that did not have proper air pollution control have stopped their operations. If used, these incinerators can emit toxins into the air, such as polyvinyl chloride, which is found in plastic. While the incinerators help to decrease the amount of pollution being put into the air, the problem still involves medical waste being combined with municipal trash of the city. Here's 5 ways of treating medical waste. There's incineration, then there's non-incineration systems such as thermal, which is autoclaving. They're typically for sharps waste, infectious waste, never pathological though. radiative, which is microwave basically, typically for sharps waste and infectious waste. Chemical or biological. Chemical is for liquids, and biological is rarely used anymore. A critical review is reported by Masterakis and shows that a proper planning of collecting, transporting, processing, and disposing of hazardous and non-hazardous material is needed to be put in place. He also wants to place a waste reduction and neutralizing component, while another argument is made that we should use better ways to manage where biomedical waste is being disposed of. He wants to continue to use the incinerator because it is better technology and has proper policies. This is a picture of a biomedical device incinerator. While incinerators reduce the medical waste to ash and destroy pathogens, the issue with using incinerators is that ash can contain many components that can be very harmful to the environment. In an article called Conversion of Organic Biomedical Waste into Potential Fertilizer Using Isolated Organisms from Cow Dung for Cleaner Environment, there was a study done to test whether organic waste could be used as a fertilizer to prevent excess carbon emission being released into the atmosphere. The study used 50 different organic biomedical waste samples like blood swabs, dressing swabs, and cotton that was used. This study found that organic matter can be turned into a potential fertilizer to make an environmentally friendly fertilizer. In conclusion, the healthcare system produces one of the highest amounts of CO2 per year. The healthcare system's intent is to do no harm, but in reality, with the way they produce waste, they cause more harm to the environment and to the surrounding populations by releasing multiple chemicals into the air. They produce about 2 million tons of waste a year, and most of the waste is not being disposed of properly. Hospital waste finds its way into municipal trash, which causes CO2 release and public health problems. They have used a few different techniques in the past to decrease the amount of CO2 being released into the incinerators, but recently had to shut down small plants because they were not being managed properly and wound up emitting more emissions into the air. Recently, a study was done to look into biomedical waste as fertilizer, and the study was successful in the research.